Hey guys, Nishquick here. I want to talk more about what Atlus is cooking in the future. And if you guys are Atlus fans, you most definitely did see this trailer, but I really want to, and I really need to talk about Metaphor Re Fantazio, because along with Metroid Prime 4, this is my now most anticipated video game of all time. And I would say this game more because we have actually seen this game, we've actually seen gameplay, we've actually seen characters, we've seen what this game will entail. So I want to talk about why I'm excited for this game, but I'm going to do it in a different way because this game is the brainchild of three very important people within Atlus. So I'm going to be talking about those three people and why I think that this game is going to be good because they're a part of it. So I hope you guys enjoy this. I hope you guys are excited for Metaphor Re Fantazio as much as I am. And yeah, without further ado, let's talk about this game. So before Metaphor Re Fantazio, as you know, Atlus was very famous for Persona and Shin Megami Tensei. Shin Megami Tensei has a lot of other branching IPs like Soul Hackers, Digital Devil Saga, Devil Summoner, and of course Persona. Persona is part of the SMT series, but now it has sort of branched off into its own pillar for Atlus. Atlus seems to be wanting to make Metaphor Re Fantazio a third strong pillar for Atlus and for their future projects. So I wanted to first give a little bit of a history lesson with this game, and I don't know as much because I was on the hype train a little later, but I do remember that this game was initially once Project Re Fantasy, and this was announced very long time back, like 2016, 2017, around the time Persona 5 released, like the original Persona 5, vanilla Persona 5. Alongside the release of that, Atlus announced Project Re Fantasy. And what that was within Atlus, there are many different development studios, and Atlus was making a new development team to create this new IP, this new fantasy IP, Project Re Fantasy. And the people helming that project would be Katsura Hashino, Shigenori Soejima, and Shoji Meguro, three very important creatives who were involved in both the Persona and SMT series. And ever since 2016, 2017, we've only gotten small glimpses and teases of what Re Fantasy could be, until this summer in June of 2023 we finally got a trailer at the Xbox showcase, and it's coming to Game Pass and Xbox and PlayStation and PC next year. So I'm very excited for that. So enough dilly-dallying. Let's go into what these three very important developers have to say about Metaphor Re Fantazio. Let's start with Katsura Hashino. He's directed Persona 3, Persona 4, and Persona 5, as well as games like Persona 3 Portable, Persona 4 Golden, all that. But he's also worked on SMT 3 Nocturne, Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2, and he's also directed Catherine. So he is involved in a lot of the big projects within Atlus, and he's really got an idea of what Atlus's DNA, who they are as creatives in a development studio. He really has got that down. So in this Metaphor Re Fantazio creator interview, Hashino was giving some very interesting insights into what the development was like for this game and what the scope and idea and concept of this game could be. He's asking questions like, what does the true fantasy world look like? How do people in fantasy worlds view our reality? Versus how do we as people living in our current reality look at fantasy stories? And even changing up the idea of what a fantasy story could even be. What even are fantasy stories in the first place? This quote really stood out to me. He said, as he was working on this game, he had the idea that fantasy does more than just immerse us in empty worlds of fiction. They exist because there's something about that world that we want to change. And he was also saying that the game will be about facing your fear. Like I said before, this game is going to kind of tackle how we in the real world view fantasy worlds and vice versa, how people in a fantasy world could view our reality. And that is a very interesting concept of fear of the unknown and feeling empowered once you accomplish that. That's a lot of what Hashino is trying to really put into this game, with the concepts, the story, the narrative, the gameplay. And what I love is this is a very, very new take for Atlus, because Persona and SMT, Hashino was saying, weren't traditional fantasy games. They were more realistic games, but Hashino wanted to kind of delve into fantasy, but he really wanted to stand out. He didn't want it to just be your average Western fantasy games with dragons and knights and armor. Of course, you see that in Metaphor Re Fantazio, but he really wanted to stand out from the crowd and do something completely different, and I'm very, very excited to see what he's got cooking in his mind, because I love the whole concepts of personas, of demons, of other realities with Persona and SMT. So if Hashino can give us something like that, but in a fantasy world, but with a very unique take, I'm very excited for this game. One thing I really wanted to say real quick is Metaphor Re Fantazio looks a lot more like Persona and SMT than I thought when it comes to the gameplay, and even in the visual identity, but I'll get into that later. It is a turn-based game, it's got some sort of press turn system, it's got some sort of social link system, it's got a lot of that Atlus identity, but I really trust in Hashino to give us something very unique that we have never experienced before. And now moving on to more of the visual identity and the environment and the characters, the world design, the whole aesthetic of this game, and even the UI and the user interfaces, because Atlus is very, very well known for a lot of that stuff. I want to now talk about Mr. Shigenori Soejima. Soejima has also worked as the character designer and artist for Persona 3, 4, and 5, and he also did SMT3 as a setting concept artist. And that's really cool because I haven't played SMT3 yet, but it's got a very interesting, very dark, dreary, mysterious, foreboding vibe to it. It's all thanks to Soejima's work on it. So I'm going to be having some images and pictures and art of Soejima throughout this section of the video that you can see his art and his different styles of his work. He's a very, very awesome artist, and he's very identifiable with his work. What's interesting with this game is they want, like I said before with Hashino's take on this game, these developers want you to feel empowered with this game. They want you to feel like you're making a real change in the world. So Soejima was talking about this androgynous, heroic protagonist who's got a firm and resolute gaze who can change the world. And ever since I saw this guy, we don't know his name, we don't know who and what he's going to mean and what he's going to do with this game, but ever since I saw him, I was very interested to learn more of what this guy's story will be. And I really hope he's not just a cookie cutter avatar like Yu Narukami or Joker or Makoto Yuki. I want to really have nice, dedicated, empowering story with this protagonist, because he looks like you're just your ideal normal adventurer going on like a normal fantasy quest, but a lot of the things you encounter in this game seem to be larger than life. So I really, really am excited to see what kind of situations this character gets in, and I want to know what Soejima means by heroic with a firm and resolute gaze who can change the world. That really, really excited me when I heard that. And I love that Soejima is also on board with the whole fantasy idea, but taking its own unique spin on it. He was saying that he wants to reinvent the ideas of the fantasy genre, and how could he do that? Well, he's incorporating styles from the 1960s, and maybe even some styles from the modern day visuals and attire and clothing for the character designs. And of course, he's combining this all with traditional fantasy elements with armor and knights and dragons and all that. What's amazing is he did enforce the idea that the Atlus charm will remain in this game. the Atlus charm with the character designs, the character personalities, the fantasy, fantastical, colorful elements of this game, and we can definitely see that in this trailer with the menus, the UI, the interfaces, and just the color scheme and the bright, flashy, stylistic, and stylish elements that this game has got. It looks fantastic and it looks amazing, and I'm very, very excited to just immerse myself in the world of this game. So, if you guys play Atlus games, I'm sure you guys definitely enjoy the music. You love all the soundtracks from Persona 3, Persona 4, Persona 5, SMT, all that, right? You know who's the brainchild of that? I'm sure some of you guys know, but yes, it is Shoji Meguro, and Shoji Meguro has done the soundtracks for Persona 3, 4, 5, SMT3, Digital Devil Saga 1 and 2, Strange Journey, the Devil Summoner games, etc, etc. And he's also got a pretty identifiable style in his music when it comes to jazz, when it comes to pop, when it comes to some hip-hop and rap and all that stuff. Also a lot of rock influences there, but like Soejima and Hashino, Meguro is stepping out of bounds for this game and kind of going out of his comfort zone, because a lot of the times, like I said, Meguro does pop, he does rock, he does hip-hop in his soundtracks. This time he's going for orchestral music, which is not your normal kind of OST for an Atlus game. And the most interesting thing in this interview, he said, was that it's going to be orchestral, but it's going to be a spiritual music style which evokes a classical fantasy feel. And he even mentioned that it would be inspired by Buddhist hymns, and he specified this specifically. He said there would be Buddhist hymns and not rap. He specifically specified no rap, because I think when a lot of us play Persona 3 Reload, when we hear all that Lotus Juice stuff, we're gonna want a lot more of that. We're gonna want a lot of that rap from Persona 5 and Persona 3 and Persona 4, but I like that Meguro is doing something entirely different in this game, and the fact that he's using a spiritual and sort of religious kind of music style is very, very interesting. I hope that he doesn't stick to Buddhist hymns. I would love to hear the Buddhist hymns. This is a long shot here. I would be really interested to see if he uses Hindu hymns and Hindu songs such as shlokas and bhajans and things like that. Me being an Indian guy myself, that would be really awesome to not see that directly being used in the game, but some inspiration taken from there, because Meguro did specify spiritual music style, so I'm curious to see what that sounds like. And we get a little bit of a glimpse of it in the first trailer, but it's nothing much. And this already does not sound like the normal Shoji Meguro music that we're used to, like Life Will Change or Time to Make History or Mass Destruction. So my whole idea with Metaphor Re Fantazio is it is a breath of fresh air for Atlus. It is an entirely new project. It is a new IP. It is with the same development team and the brainchild behind Persona 3, 4, and 5 and SMT3, SMT4 and all that, but it is a new direction for the fantasy genre, a new direction for the fantasy RPG genre, and a new direction for Atlus. They're trying new things, they're taking risks, and they're going out of their comfort zone with this game. And I'm very, very, very excited for all that this game is going to be and all that it's going to do. And it is, like I said in the beginning of this video, it is my most anticipated video game right now next to Metroid Prime 4. And the thing is, we still don't know much about Metroid Prime 4 as of the recording of this video. So let me know in the comments below, are you excited for Metaphor Re Fantazio? I know a lot of you guys in my comments and on Twitter and some of my friends in the gaming community are very hyped for this game, as well as me. I'm very hyped. So let me know in the comments below what you think about Hashino, Soejima, and Meguro's past work with Atlus in the Atlus community and the Atlus games. And let me know what you're most excited for with Metaphor in the comments below. Thank you so much for watching this video, and stick around for more Nintendo and RPG content just like this. This is Nishquick, signing off. Have a great day, and go play some great games today, like, I don't know, some Atlus game. Persona 3, 4, 5, they're all on modern systems, and hey, even SMT5. It's a very good game. I'll see you guys in the next one later. Hey guys, this is Nish Quick. Thank you so much for watching that video, and if you enjoyed it, check out these 2 videos on the left, and if you aren't subscribed, why not hit that subscribe button on the way out? I'll see you guys in the next one. Have a great day, and see you later.